Have you ever had that feeling? Like you're just a passenger in your own life? Just watching things happen to you without any real say in the matter? Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today as we dive into Maurice Maeterlinck's amazing work, Wisdom and Destiny. It's a book that just might flip your entire understanding of fate on its head.
So Maeterlinck kicks things off by pointing to this feeling we all kind of know, right? That sense of being overwhelmed, even oppressed by the events of our lives. He says most of us see our destiny as this external thing. It's like a train just rolling by on the tracks, and we're just standing there watching it pass, thinking it has nothing to do with who we are on the inside.
And this really sets up the central question of his whole philosophy. Are we just puppets? Are we just being pulled around by the strings of fate? Or, and this is the exciting part, is there something inside of us, in our own inner life, that can actually change our outer world? Okay, so to really get to his answer, we first have to grapple with the idea that Maeterlinck is arguing against. He calls it the shadow of destiny, this old, powerful idea of a fate that's totally outside of our control. I mean, think about the classic Greek tragedies, like Oedipus. Here's a guy who hears his terrible fate, does absolutely everything he can to run from it, and yet every single step he takes just leads him closer to it. These ancient stories really hammer home this idea that destiny is this external force that you just can't escape. And honestly, it's usually pretty brutal.
But this is where Maeterlinck totally flips the script. He says, okay, sure, that external force might be out there, but there's another force, a much more powerful one that we almost always ignore, and he calls it wisdom. This, he says, is the real hero of our life story.
And this comparison is absolutely key to understanding his whole point. On one side, you've got external destiny. That's all about what happens to you. It's a passive ride, and a lot of the time, it leads to suffering. But then you have inner destiny. This is shaped by your own thoughts. You actively create it. And at the end of the day, it's what leads to happiness.
So what exactly is this wisdom he's talking about? Well, for Maeterlinck, it's not about being a brainiac or having a sky-high IQ. Not at all. It's a moral, almost spiritual quality. It's about deep self-knowledge, a real commitment to being good, and building your life on a foundation of love. And when you cultivate this, you create what he calls an inviolable sanctuary inside yourself, a safe place that fate literally cannot touch.
And here's how it works. Our inner world basically acts like a filter for everything we experience outside. Whatever we're secretly looking for, whatever we're focused on, that's what we're going to find. And get this, he was talking about this almost 100 years before modern psychology came up with the idea of framing. The idea is simple. If you orient your inner world toward goodness, you'll start to see goodness winning all around you.
Okay, this all sounds really powerful, right? But how does it actually work in the real world? How can this inner state of wisdom really stand up to and conquer the forces of external fate?
I just love how Maeterlinck puts it here. It's like he's painting fatality as this schoolyard bully. Once your soul, your inner wisdom, learns how to stand up to it and proves it can't be pushed around, fate itself starts to back down. It's abashed. It loses its power over you.
And he even gives us a roadmap to get there. First, know thyself. You have to develop a really deep, conscious understanding of who you are. Second, you have to actively choose goodness. Every day, pursue love and kindness because that's the path to real strength. And third, and this is a big one, transform suffering. When bad things happen, don't look at them as defeats. See them as raw material you can use to build an even stronger character. This is a profoundly stoic idea, turning obstacles into fuel.
And this is so crucial to get. Maeterlinck is not selling some fantasy where if you're wise, nothing bad will ever happen. That's not reality. Tragedies will still come. The difference, the entire difference, is in how the wise person experiences it. The external event is the same, but its impact on your inner world is completely transformed, from a catastrophe into an opportunity.
So all of this brings us to his incredible conclusion. We are not just victims floating down the river of fate. We can be its architects. We all have the power to craft our own destiny.
Let's just recap the big takeaways here. You are not a passive victim. Your inner state, your wisdom, is way more powerful than your external circumstances. Happiness, it's not something you find, it's a skill you build, an idea that's now the foundation of positive psychology. What happens to you will always matter less than what's happening in you. And finally, my favorite line of all, you meet only yourself on the highway of fate.
So I'll leave you with one final question to really think about. We know we can't always control what the world throws at us, but what's the one part of your life, the one single domain that you can always, completely, and unshakably control?
This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.